Happy 2025. Yes, it's a new year, and I'm sharp dressed man, clean shaven. Maybe comb my hair a little bit better, but we're very excited today. I'm even wearing a tie for y'all. We're very excited because, and I'm dressed up to announce this new thing we're going to be doing with. That I'm going to be doing with the most amazing, powerful, and all knowledgeable Eugene from ControlUp, one of ControlUp's very first employees, who's just really knows this product inside and out, and more importantly, knows the data. And so he came to me and said, why don't we do something phenomenal around looking at the data and answering questions based on the data, not just people's opinions? And I was like, well, beautiful. I'll get dressed up for that one. So with no further ado, I'll explain it, but here is the first episode of Ask the ControlUp Platform Anything.
Hi, everyone out there. Jed Ayers here, CEO of ControlUp, and I'm very excited today to launch a new series, something that should get the conversation going out there in the digital universe, something we're calling Ask the ControlUp Platform Anything. That's right. We're going to be letting ControlUp community ask us anything and solicit the incredible insights and data that are available to us by looking at the close to 6 million endpoints under management inside the ControlUp DEX platform. So to kick things off today, I'm excited to get to ask the first question. So here it is. Post-COVID, and with all the recent changes we've been seeing in the EUC space, what are the real-world trends that we're seeing in terms of the size of the existing VDI environments? So I look forward to hearing what the data shows, and thanks so much for being part of the ControlUp family.
Okay, thanks, Jed, for that great question. That's wonderful. Hey, Eugene, this is our first episode here. We just had a great question from Jed. And you want to, real quick, maybe tell a little bit about what we're doing here? What is the statistics? What is this Ask Us Anything?
Yeah, so basically, having all this data from the world of DEX and gathering it for years, there's quite a few interesting directions in which we could explore this data and show the world. And I've been getting all kinds of questions about that. I mean, a few years ago, we did some research on logon duration and application load times and some other things. And I always keep getting those questions about the data that what you are seeing, right? Okay, so as a vendor, right, we're looking at hundreds and for now thousands of customers, right? So what are the trends that you guys are seeing in this or that? So I thought we're gonna start this initiative and try to share the numbers with the people. And I guess we're gonna start by just explaining a little bit of how we're going about analyzing the data and presenting it. And the rest is up to the community, right? We're just sharing the knowledge and then the interpretation. That's the fun part, right?
Yeah, and
Once you see the
hopefully,
numbers.
yeah, hopefully you're watching. As Eugene lays out these answers, Jed asked a great question. We would also ask you to submit your questions. Send us a short little video, and Eugene will put together. Well, you'll see. We'll do an episode like this, a little bit less talking up front because we have to explain it now. But we'll get to it. So once we have a question and you have all this data, can you explain that process and what this? Yeah.
Right. So there's a couple of things that we want to make sure before we put the data out there. One is we need to be aware of the sensitivity of the data and making sure that it's totally anonymized, right? So whatever I'm showing to you guys, it's always going to reflect sometimes our entire customer base, sometimes a part of the customer base, whatever is fitting for the question. But in any case, we're not going to see anything about specific customers or specific names or logos over there, right? So I'm trying to be fair and to kind of show you an overview. I can say that that's no secret. Like our customer base is a couple of thousand of customers from around the world, all kinds of industries. And for the reason of not identifying specific customers, I'm also staying away from comparing specific geographies and specific industries, right? This is another thing that I'm doing because, yeah, guess what? If I tell you, yeah, there's this healthcare in like the Northwest, which behaves this way, I don't want anyone guessing what kind of company is that and so on. So I'm just staying away from all kinds of comparisons like that. Maybe in another video, we'll also address a couple of like statistical reasons of why it's not a good idea to do that anyway, right? So, but in any way, everything is like totally anonymous, right? So that's one important point. Another one is that what I'm trying to do here is show some kind of a reflection of industry trends and not of our performance as a business, right? So, for example, here Jed asked about of how were the EUC environments around the world behaving over the last couple of years. And we're going to look at that in just a second. But my point here is that I don't want to show you guys how many new VDI sessions are we monitoring over the last couple of years, because that would reflect the performance of our sales team. And that's not the point. The point is to show some kind of a reflection of what's going on out there in the market, right? And the way to do this is, in this case, to make sure that the only customers that I'm showing to you are the ones who stayed with us throughout the entire period of analysis. So nobody joins the data set and nobody leaves the data set, right? So that's like a kind of statistical way of making sure that whatever you're showing is a trend that at least expresses itself in the data for this particular set of customers without taking into account any business growth. Because of course, if I would have shown what is the total number of EUC sessions that ControlUp is monitoring around the world, that's going up and to the right and, you know, always up, but that's not the current question, right? So I guess like if these are clear, we can, you know, if there's other things that you want to ask, maybe we could
no, let's get to the data. So we had Jed's question. Let's see the results.
This is my way of addressing that question about the total amount of EUC, like VDI and DAS, Citrix, Horizon, all sorts of DAS that we're looking at on-prem and cloud. And basically, I took the period from 2019 till the present day. So what you can see here, and I express everything in percentages. So basically, we're taking 100% as the baseline from 2019, just before COVID hit. So what you can see here is that from that 100% baseline until the middle of 2021, we had an uptake of about twofold, right? So about two. It's very even. It's almost exactly 200%, right? From that peak, and we hit that peak around June 2021. Okay, so that's the height of the pandemic. And by the way, like the yellow bar down here, I just kind of overlaid out on top. That's the official like WHO definition of when the pandemic started and ended, right? So we hit about a twofold increase the middle of 2021, and now we are approximately halfway down from there, right? So we are at about 140% of the pre-pandemic baseline, right? So we can say that over that period of time, we have gained 100% and then lost 60% out of that. So ending up with an increase of about 40% now compared to the baseline before COVID hit. So bottom line, the simplest way to explain these numbers is that when we're looking at all of our customers and summing together the peaks of their EUC environments, right? EUC and DAS, VDI, all of that. When we're summing all those peaks for every quarter in this case, like every bar here represents a quarter, we get these numbers, and it nicely fits this curve of going up and flattening at about midway after the pandemic ended. So this is like the short answer to what is the trend of, like, is VDI really going away? Well, not if we look at our customer base. It's definitely like it went up dramatically, and now it settled somewhere in the middle point between what it was before and what it was at the very peak, right? Just below the middle point. So what do you think, Jed?
I think that's great. It doesn't surprise me. Of course, you're going to have that little peak as we burst over to EUC during the pandemic and all the people from work from home. But to see us that it's still continuous, or that we've grown from prior to pre-pandemic levels is just wonderful. But I think the work from home is an interesting piece, and you have a slide on this. You have more data. Can you share this?
Sure. Yeah, I saw that. I just happened to see that on LinkedIn somewhere, and this is the actual. I have the reference here. That's from Barrero and colleagues. So there was a survey of working arrangements and attitudes, and another survey that basically measured how many working days were shifted to from home. Right. So what we're seeing here is that from the beginning of COVID, this is on the same timeline, by the way, right? So I just pasted this half transparent on the same timeline. So it starts around 2020 and until today. And curiously, what you can see here is about the beginning of 2020, the number of working days work from home went up like about 60%. And then by the end of 2023, it kind of flattened about halfway down from there, right? Which is kind of similar to the pattern that we saw in the size of the VDI and DAS environments. And even though the timeline is not exactly the same, right? The work from home peaked right away in 2020 around the lockdowns and everything, right? Yeah. And we can see that the technology took a little bit, like almost a year to actually peak after that. I thought it was curious, like, to see this kind of synchronicity in the way that it flattens out towards the middle point, and it's still there. So yeah, I thought that was interesting as well.
I love it. But you know what's interesting is what they think, right? We want to know what they think about this data. So if you have comments, please leave them down here. Do you agree with Eugene? Do you agree with with our data saying? Do you have a difference of opinion? Do you have a reason why or a reason why not? Please leave a comment and let us know. And if you have a question for us, if you have a question for Eugene, ask it. Let us know. And make us a short little video like Jed did, and we'll make the next video. We're committed to do a bunch of these. Eugene's really excited. I'm really stoked about this myself, and we want to share this with you. So, Eugene, anything else?
No, that's again, looking forward to everybody's comments and follow-ups on that. One of my favorite follow-ups on data is this doesn't look right. That's usually somebody who understands what they're talking about, or sometimes very interesting perspective on all stuff like that. So I'd love to hear all kinds of responses. And yeah, for sure, any further ideas for whatever we might want to research, right? Anything goes.
Yeah. Eugene, thank you so much. Episode 1, we're done. Let's see. Comment, people. Comment. Eugene, do this. Say comment. Yeah. No. Like, they're commenting below. See the videos. Actually, I think the videos. It's one of these two.
Comment wherever you want. Just comment.
Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the data. And please do leave a comment. Thank you, Eugene.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Okay, well, I'm done. Get on this thing.